If you have to honestly tell me that, what do you think is the importance of access?
Everything. I've said that in so many podcasts. Access is everything. Access determines outcomes, impacts outcomes way more significantly than any other aspect. You can have ideas, you can have capital, you can have, a great team, but access to that what you want to do, whether it is access to a social set that can give you, you know, access to capital, that can give you access to power. I look at Delhi, we're sitting in a city where some of the richest people, if you ask them what they do, we are consultants. They can't consult for shit. They don't know jack shit about any area of expertise. They know people in power. So if you want to set up a mind, they can give you access to the people who will determine the success or failure of your mind. You want to get into the financial world, people are gatekeepers of access and they monetize it because it is very valuable.
In our back in the days, a lot of people in the news circuit used to call them corporate and political pimps. Would you agree with that word term?
I mean, I tend to not use that term, not because I have a distaste. It's just not part of my vocabulary. Certain words you use. But yeah, they are they're fixers. I use the word fixers a lot. They can fix a meeting there. They can fix
Is
something there. So
is
yeah,
that a profession?
it is a profession. I mean, they call themselves consultants. Some of them call themselves, I don't know. Some of them position themselves as think tanks. Some of them position themselves different ways. But they're basically charging you a fee to introduce you to people who matter, lobbyists, whatever it is.
But not strategists.
Some of them may have some sort of an idea of strategy, but I don't think the strategy that the expertise they provide is strategic in the sense of how to do your business.
Is that something that today's entrepreneurs, the younger ones who are starting up, building businesses, raising capital, that they should also focus on? Because most of them come from a B.Tech background or an MBA background, a couple of years maybe in the profession, engineering schools, so on and so forth, and then they have an idea, raise capital, but access is not something that is on their mind.
I think if they are somewhat serious entrepreneurs, they already would know that. And it need not always be access to power, it could be access to capital. If you come from a certain social background and a certain social grouping, the biggest funders in the country are not more than 2 calls away. You'll have a friend who'll have a friend who knows that person. So, and I think serious entrepreneurs know that. It's, and I'm not saying it's all, I think it's a lot better now than let's say it was 30, 40 years ago, purely because there are a lot more market involvement in everyday life.
True.
And it's not the license Raj, which is also one of Sabreen's favorite words.
Yeah.
But it's still not, I'd say, the kind of great idea, great team, a great founder does not really mean as much as access to capital does. And access to capital is also kind of access to people who have that capital.
What is access to you? How often do you use that?
I guess I use access all the time. I mean, I think I'm a product of access. Newslaundry is a consequence of access. My first job, it's not like, it's just a series of little events which go on to create big things. So there's not one point that, it's like saying that what is water to fish? You are in that ether. So it's not something that's outside that you notice. I come from a certain background where, my mother taught Madhu. Pranoy is a DOSCO, I'm a DOSCO, my batchmate's father is his classmate. I mean, it's not something you notice every day. You just live in that world. And even if you don't have financial privilege, you have social privilege. So in that sense, like I've said in many podcasts, the first job I got with Newstrack was purely because I had access to Madhu, not because I was some great reporter. I was a third year student, 20 years old, in Delhi University, who would never go to class. Why would anyone give me a job? Sabrina worked at, Newstrack. She was a fantastic reporter. She is a professor now at NYU. She was a friend of my sister's. She took me there. She said, "You're wasting your time. You don't do anything in college. Come and do some work here." And I started doing work there. I mean, it's not a sensible reason to get a job. No? It's just access.